All right, folks, we're going to start in just a second here. It's good to be back with everybody. I'm so happy to be here. All right. Hey, whoops. Oh, wait. Oh, God. It's one of those days. There we go. I'm going to fix this. There we go. The joys of being live, I tell you. It's a party. It's fun to be live. Okay. So, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is, of course, Michael Voss, the Dragon of the Southern Tier. I'm happy to be here with you on No Sound Bites Allowed. Excuse me as I fix up my screen here. There's a bunch of things I want to go over with you guys. And it's kind of interesting because there's so many things that are going on right now. And I haven't had a chance to really spend time with everybody, to be on the show, to be in studio and talking to you. So I thank everybody who's been checking out the short blips that we've been doing back and forth. Now, you've heard a lot of news, and I think yesterday a lot of people may have noticed when I was on and we were doing a little short thing talking about, is America racist? Is America sexist? You know, what's the truth? What's the real data that's out there? And a lot of people don't know. And you know what? There is some proof out there. Matter of fact, I was on, it's Gallup came out with their listing, and we can see from 1958 to 2020, as of yesterday, when the announcement was out, we see America is not racist. America is not sexist. America is not homophobic. It's not anti-Muslim. The only thing America could be called is anti-socialist, which I personally think is a good thing. And if you haven't seen the video, then I do advise you, check it out. By the way, I see Michael Woodward's with us. Hello, Mike. It's good to see you. I'm going to see you a little bit later tonight at the event we're going to. And I hope you're all checking this out. And I do want you to check out the video that I did on that. That's Is America Racist or Sexist? You can see it on the No Sound Bites Allowed on YouTube. And we've been having some problems with YouTube, with Facebook, in getting all these messages out. So I do say check it out if you can. But there's a reason why I was talking about that, because we've been told a lot that America just doesn't know. America's just a horrible place. If you're a millennial right now, if you're in college right now, you've been told that you are in the worst country in the world, that this is an evil country, that this is a terrible country, that they have some problems. I reject all of that because it's absolutely stupid. I've seen in my lifetime, I know the racism that existed in 1970, and I see where we are today. And there's a world of difference. And you hear people saying all the time, well, you just don't understand. Of course I understand. I've been alive for 50 years. Of course I understand it. But one of the things that we hear a lot about lately is that, America is the worst country in the world. We're going to die, according to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We're going to die in the next 12 years because global warming, climate change. You keep hearing that. Yeah, especially in college. That's right, Mike. He's responding. Mike Woodward. Yeah, we keep hearing this, especially college kids. Kids are terrified. They're crying and screaming in schools. I've heard the stories. I've seen the news reports. The kids are terrified that the world is going to end in 12 years. And, I'm reflecting on that, and I'm thinking back a little bit, because guess what? That's not really true. I mean, you do hear things all the time in the news. You may have seen this. This is back in 2018 on Forbes. Guess who's most effective at global warming? Well, even in that story, what's the big thing that they're saying in there? Well, regrettably, the Trump administration's weakening of Obama-era coal constraints will moderate a positive trend. Okay? This is from Forbes magazine. The world's ending. We're not doing enough for global warming. We're not doing enough for global change. We're going to see climate change destroy the world. Matter of fact, if you wanted to go to PBS, and this was PBS, their article, only 2 countries are meeting their climate pledges. Here's the 10 worst, how the 10 worst could improve. I want you to see that. Okay, and that was written on September 26th of 2019. And guess who's number 2? America, with 5.1 metric tons. America is so terrible. We're destroying the world. Guys, Let's get this in. If we can't understand anything else, let's remember one thing. As much as you want to hear Greta Thunberg and you hear the Democratic nominees talking about, climate change is the number one thing. It's the most important thing. President Obama, global warming is the most important thing in the world. Let's remember something. Let's remember something that's very, very important. And I hope everyone's going to catch this. In 2017, Forbes reported, yes, the United States leads the world in reducing carbon emissions. That was in 2017. And I want you to follow me on this, okay? Because in 2017, according to the BP Statistical Review of World Energy, the United States, since 2007, has reduced over 758 million metric tons. That is by far the largest decline in the world. And how big is this? It is more than the entire European Union. The United Kingdom, England, came in number 2 at 170 million metric tons. They came in number 2. We were 6 times more effective at reducing global warming and climate change gases and CO2 than England, and roughly 7 times as large as all of Europe combined. And you know what's the problem? China grew by 3 billion metric tons. China increased. That was in 2017. Okay, you're going to tell me, well, Mike, that was a long time ago. 2 years, forget it. The world's changed, and we only have 11 years left, according to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Okay, so I want to go to, here's again. And I'm going to them because this is a reputable newspaper. These guys do their homework. This isn't just me saying this. These are news organizations. And they say, guess who's the most effective at combating global warming in the world? You guessed it. It's the United States again. And the United States reduced 794 million tons, an annual rate of 1.4%. Again, more than everyone in the world. Everyone in the world combined. Well, excuse me, not everyone in the world combined, but all of Europe combined. And we're number 1. The United States, reducing global gas. But then you got those articles like PBS where they come out and they say, New York, that America is horrible. We're the worst. 5.1 billion metric tons. We're terrible. China's winning. But America's just flat on emissions, and that's not good. In 2019, just a few months ago, we're being told America's not doing good enough. America is leading the world in reducing global warming gases, but that's not good enough. We didn't increase the global warming gases. That's not good enough. Meanwhile, China's increasing. And you say to me, Mike, well, that doesn't matter. How big a deal could this be? Well, you know what just came out? And we have to go to the BBC, not U.S. news, not U.S. media, but you have to check out the BBC in their article. The U.S. cut its CO2 emissions more than any other country in the world in 2019 again, helping to keep total global emissions from growing past 2018's record-breaking high. 2018, global warming across the world. Greta Thunberg out there going for a Nobel Peace Prize, and the world just got more global warming. AOC was saying, you got to stop the global warming. We've got 10 years left. And you know what happened? United States, again, years upon years, since 2005, leads the world in reducing global gas emissions. Leads the world. All of Europe combined didn't reduce global warming gases as much as America. But I keep hearing from every college student I know, and I have a university. I have 2 universities. I have Binghamton University just down the road from me. I have the SUNY Broome College just down the road from me. I hear from students all the time. They're telling me, the world's going to end. You don't understand. Global warming is the most important thing. I'm listening to Democratic candidates, Kamala Harris. I'm listening to Joe Biden. I'm listening to Bernie Sanders. We've got to take care of global warming. It's the number one issue in the world. And I turn around and I look at the actual data, and you know what? America's doing its job. We're leading the world. We're reducing more global warming gases than any other country in the world. And you know what's happening in that meantime? China and India are actually adding more than we're actually taking away. They're growing their global gas while we're reducing it. So I have to wonder, when I hear people like Greta, when I hear people like Joe Biden, I hear Bernie Sanders, I hear Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez come out and tell me the most stupid things that you could possibly say. And I have to say, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says stupid things often. And she's saying, we've got to build trains that can go out to Hawaii because we have to save the world in 10 years or it's all over. And when I see that, and I see that, well, you know what? But we're already doing our job. We're already lowering global gases. We're already reducing the climate change problem, or as Kamala Harris called it, the global warming crisis. I have to say to myself, but we've already done that. Why are you picking on us? Why is America the bad guy? Why is America the bad guy when China is the one that's increasing every year? They're making more. As much as we reduce, China increases even more than that. They increased the global warming gases 3% last year. Why is no one talking about China? What about India? What about Africa? Why is America the bad guy? You should ask this. Why is America the bad guy when we aren't doing anything to make things worse? We're making it better. We're actually doing the things that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, the progressives, we're doing what they're asking for. Those college students who are protesting, saying we've got to save the world, we're doing it. Why are they pissed off at America? Why are they saying America's the bad guys here? I mean, has anyone ever stopped to ask them that? Did you even realize that since 2005, America documented is the leader? We have reduced more global gases than entire sets of continents by ourselves. We're reducing it more than anyone else in the world. And yet we're the bad guys. I don't understand this. And I take this into consideration when I think about, like I was talking about yesterday, when I was talking about the fact that America is not racist. America is not sexist. You know what? In 1958, as I said yesterday in a video, the chance of Americans voting for someone who's black as president, that was 38%. Today, it's 96%. When you think about it, if someone who's gay, first time they took the poll in 1983, only 29% of America said they would vote for someone who's gay. Today, 78% of America would do so. That's enough to elect anyone. So that's not the problem. America's not racist. We're not sexist. What are the odds of a woman being elected? In 1958, 3 generations ago, 54% of America said they would vote for a woman. Guess what? That's enough to get any woman elected. And you know what? Today, it's 93%. That's enough to elect any woman. So when I hear people say, oh my God, well, but women can't win. That's the big thing. You heard it. Elizabeth Warren, she's so upset because Bernie Sanders said women can't win. Or I think he said, you can't win. The women on this stage can't win. There is a difference between saying that Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Kirsten Gillibrand, even Amy Klobuchar, that they can't win in 2020 against Donald Trump. There's a big difference between saying that and saying that no woman can win because America's more than happy to elect a woman. Why didn't Hillary win? Because she was a criminal. Because the majority of America hates Hillary Clinton. Why aren't the women doing well in the Democratic the primaries? Forget about what the Republicans think. Democrats don't trust them enough. Democrats don't believe in them enough. That's not me saying that. That's Iowa. That's New Hampshire. They're not leading. That has nothing to do with what I believe as a Republican. That has nothing to do with me being black or male. It's the fact that Democrats don't believe that. So the question isn't, would Democrats, there's the question. Would progressives vote for a woman? Of course they would. They're just not voting for these women. But it's the subtle thing of changing the argument and saying, well, because we're not, this is the thing, and we have to really bring this up. This is the big thing in our politics right now. We really need to address this issue of telling people and stopping people from saying, well, because you're not giving the answer I want, well, then you must be wrong. There's something evil about you because you don't agree with me. Greta Thunberg, I have no doubt, believes I am evil because I'm not saying that America has to go to the Stone Age tomorrow to save the world. She's absolutely, I'm sure, her Nobel Peace Prize nomination is sitting there saying, well, Mike, you just don't get it. Well, I do get it. America's actually done more global warming reductions than anyone else in the world. Americans are more willing to vote for women. They're more likely to vote for a black man or a gay man or an Arab, not even Arab, Muslim, because we're a nation of opportunity. And when the opportunity is equal, we all do well. And when we get the option, we take the best option possible. We reduced, before anyone was talking about global warming, the United States was dropping down the number of greenhouse gases. We were talking about electing women. We elected a black man and then re-elected him. We have gay man, a visibly very open gay man who is leading in many polls right now. The problem is not if America is anti-gay or anti-woman or anti-race, or we're trying to kill the world with global gases and climate change. That's a false argument. That is a lie. Now, folks, you can, just like Mike Woodward was commenting before, you can tell me. If you think I'm wrong, please tell me where I'm wrong here. Show me the sources that say that here's a poll that says that America, overwhelmingly, more than 50% of America, even 40% of America, show me a poll that says America doesn't want to elect someone of color because we already have. Please show me the proof that says America is not willing to elect a woman because we've seen the votes that Hillary's getting. We see what the candidates on the Democratic trail are doing right now. It's not that. When you tell me that, well, America, the world's going to end in 10 years, it's not because America's trying to do it. We're fixing things. We'd do better if we had natural gas. We'd be able to reduce those numbers even further. But guess what? We're still doing it with things like wind and solar that are completely inefficient and don't work well. And we're still able to hit more numbers than all of Europe combined. The problem is China. Can we not say that? Is that something taboo? I understand the NBA won't talk in China about the problems of China. I understand the people of Hong Kong get it. The people in Hong Kong understand it really clear. That's why they're protesting. That's why they're getting beat over the head by the government, the Chinese military, because they're saying they want to be free like you and me so that they can make the best choice possible. And when we do make the best choice possible, well, what happens? We elect a black man. We have women who are running for president. We have gay men who are running for president. We have reductions in global warming. We have an economy that leads the world. We have a quality of life that is so good that people are willing to be branded as criminals and potentially being deported back to their home countries, and they are willing to come here with no clothes on their back, with no opportunity, no question. They're just willing to show up on our shores and pray that, you know what, even if they went to prison, they'd be doing better than their home countries. That's how good we are. America is that good. Greta Thunberg and Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the rest of the eco-fanatics should be ecstatic right now that America is proving since 2005 that we have reduced global warming. They say that's the most important issue. Great. We've been doing it. People, the progressives who are out there who are saying that we need to have social justice, guess what? You got it. We're doing it. In my lifetime, we have gone from, and again, don't just believe me. Here's the chart. Here's the chart so you can see it yourself. In my lifetime, we have gone from no way in hell that a black person could ever become president to having a president and he got reelected. We've gone from the question of whether a woman could be president to a fact that she can effectively run and win if it's the right person. We've gotten out there, even most recently, in 2015, it was an 80% chance that if you were Muslim, you could run for president and Americans would vote for you. It's even higher today. That's after 9/11. That's after all this, the media telling you that we're completely racist and sexist and we're anti-Muslim, but yet Americans are more than willing to go out there. That's Republicans and Democrats and independents and libertarians and conservatives. All of America are willing to vote for just about anybody except a socialist, but anybody else, and enough so to get them elected. So why do we keep getting this? Why are we being beat up for the fact of saying, hey, I'm a conservative and I'm a Republican? What's the problem? Because I keep hearing from colleges, I keep hearing from people, oh, you can't do that because it's horrible. You're going to destroy the world. I don't think so, because America under Republicans has lowered its greenhouse gases. America under Republicans have supported blacks and women and Asians and gays. What's the problem? I just happen to believe that we shouldn't spend as much. I don't think that we should allow this government to spend as much as it does. And I think we should cut that back. I don't think we should give things to people for free when they haven't earned it. I do believe in helping people, but I don't believe in giving them a crutch so that they can live on my back forever. These aren't crazy ideas. I don't believe in the idea, and this is really crazy, folks. You probably didn't hear about it. It was in New Haven. I believe it was New Haven, Connecticut. The New Haven Register reports as of February 6th. You know what we have out there? They're saying that they want to the police are going to give crack pipes to crackheads. They're going to give addicts, crackheads. They're going to give them crack pipes. They're going to give heroin addicts needles because they want them to stay alive. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm not sorry. I am a conservative. I'm a Republican. And I am more than aware of the idea that if you give a crackhead a pipe so he can smoke more crack, that's not going to get them to quit. I have a very clear understanding that if you give a heroin addict a needle, that's not going to get them to quit. In fact, may get them to overdose. You're not helping anyone by saying, here's the way that you can kill yourself. Let me give you something free. We might as well buy them heroin. We might as well buy them crack and say, go ahead, smoke in front of us. It's perfectly okay because we're going to take care of you forever. No. How about we don't do that? Yeah, this is a horrible Republican conservative idea. No, you can't do the drugs and we're not going to give them to you for free. No, I'm not going to apologize that America is industrial and we have a quality of life that allows us to have iPods, iPads, and Starbucks coffee. I'm not sorry for that. I'm not sorry that we created and we developed the internet. I'm not sorry for that. And if it so happens that we have some greenhouse gases because we're able to travel from New York City to LA without having to take the next 3 months of our lives in a wagon, you know what? I'm not sorry for that. And I'm not sorry for the fact that I don't believe that the idea of taking a train to Hawaii makes sense. I'm not going to play that game. That's stupid. We know this. Everyone understands it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to people and say, hey, you know what? We've got 10 years. We're going to take every single house in the country and we're going to retrofit it overnight so that it'll have solar panels. That's just not possible. That's not reality. That's a lie. It's a great way to get elected. It's a great way to get people emotional. It doesn't do anything for anyone. I'm not going to sit here and allow people to hear people like the progressive leaders of tomorrow, otherwise known as Plot, and hear them say, well, America is sexist when it's not true. Hear them say that America is racist when it's not true. These guys are living in the lap of luxury. You know when America was racist? It was back in the 1950s, 60s, and well beyond that, well before that. And you know what? Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and many other leaders did a fantastic job of setting the groundwork to improve America. And that's why today we talk about our last president, who was a black man. I'm not sorry for that. And so when I hear people like Plot say, well, America's just racist, and that's why I can't do well, you're lying. And when someone says, well, we have to have bail reform to take care of you because it's obvious America's so racist, the only thing you can do is become a criminal. I'm sorry, I reject that. And it's okay to say this, folks. I know no one wants to say it. Everyone's afraid to say, I reject that idea because it's stupid. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say that I have conservative values. You don't have to be a conservative to have conservative values. You don't have to be a Republican to have Republican values. You don't have to be that. You can be a Democrat and say, I don't think it's okay to excuse MS-13 members and let them out of jail because they're criminals and they're killing people so that they can then turn around and go out and they can go out and kill people. I forget where the report was. Recently, MS-13 members were let out of, because of bail reform, let out of jail, and they went out and they killed the witness that was going to be reporting against them. That's scary, folks. How many times have we seen in the news recently? Crime is up. Why? Bail reform. We're taking the criminals and throwing them back out on the streets. These aren't the most intelligent people in the world. You're a criminal. You just got caught. You're not a mastermind. These people are going back out, and I know at least some of them are mentally deranged. So they're going out there and they think they're free. And they're going back to do it. We had a guy who he got let out of jail and went straight over and robbed a bank. Why was he in jail? Because he robbed a bank. It's okay to say that's not right. It's okay to say Governor Cuomo to the New York State Legislature and say, you guys have failed. The fact that you're all Democrats and you're all on this wish list of these ideas and these social experiments, and you want to run that on our lives with our money, it's okay to say, no, don't do that. I'm not okay with that. That's perfectly fine to say, folks. We can say that. We should say that. And don't be afraid to say that. What's the worst thing they're going to do to you? I can tell you what they do to me. They call me an Uncle Tom. They call me a bunch of names. They've been doing it for decades of my life. Guess what? I'm still here. They didn't shut me down. They didn't silence me. They haven't made me afraid, and I don't care. I've lived through worse things than Plot members who go, I don't like Mike Voss. I don't care if you like me or not. Guess what? When I was in the coup attempt in Moscow and they were running down the streets with tanks, I was more worried about that than whether or not Masai and Tariq Abdelazine like me or not. I could care less. You're not that important. And you should have that same kind of idea. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to say, Mike's right about 100% of everything he's saying. You don't have to believe that. But you should believe that it's okay to say, this is wrong. We're going too far. We're worried about Greta, a 16-year-old who has some mental issues in another country, is telling America, who is leading the world in reducing global gases, that we're bad guys. We're listening to people like Plot, progressive leaders of tomorrow, and Antifa, who are criminals, who create riots, who try and silence people from being able to speak and say that it's okay because it's their right to shut you down, which is wrong, and to use violence to intimidate you, which is wrong. It's okay to tell them, no, you can't do that. We reject that. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm out of my mind. But I'm watching an America in my lifetime, in 50 years, that has made wonderful strides. Technology, socially, economically. America is better today than it was in the 70s. That is a fact. America is better today than it was in the 80s and the 90s. That is a fact. You can do more. You have more choices and more options today than ever before. But I am listening to people who are running for president, Mike Bloomberg. I'm listening to a guy who's running now about third or fourth place nationally. And this guy is telling people, and he's asking you to vote for him, even though he said he wants to tax the poor to make them live to his whims. Tell me that's not tyrannical. And that's not a question. He's done it. Look it up, folks. Did Michael Bloomberg say that he wants to tax the poor to make them do what he wants? The answer is yes, he did. Don't believe me? Look it up. Don't believe me? Look it up. Michael Bloomberg says he wants to control the food on your table. Whether you're having salt or sugar or soda, he wants to control that. There's a problem. That's tyrannical. He's a Democrat. He's considered a moderate. If an absolute tyrant is considered a moderate, my God, what's Bernie Sanders? Well, we know he's a socialist. What about the rest of them? These are things we should really be asking right now. I understand Democrats want to keep saying, well, we've got to impeach President Trump, and we will find something eventually somewhere that's going to let them impeach him. And you know what? If you use the full weight of the government, eventually you're going to get something. But the fact is, that's tyrannical. They lost. They lost in 2016. They lost on collusion. They lost on bribery. They lost on the Ukraine. They lost the impeachment. It's over. Get done with it. We have an election. Let the people choose. But why are we seeing people who are tyrants as potential? We have a guy, socialist, Bernie Sanders, who would destroy our nation. Socialism would destroy. Its purpose is partially to destroy our way of life. The way of life that 30 million illegal aliens have decided is so good that even if they live in the shadows or they get thrown in jail, it's better than any other life they could lead. That country, that's you want to talk about a definition of greatness? That is a definition of greatness. When you are willing to go to another country and live in their jail because it's better than where you live right now, that is a definition of greatness. But when I hear this, I've been looking for an opportunity. I haven't had a chance to sit down and talk with you guys and to speak with everyone. And I love when I get to speak to you all. I really do. And I do pay attention to all the comments you guys leave, whether it's on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook or sending me emails or phone calls. I love it. But I have to tell you, this is driving me nuts right now. I got a message from Mike Woodward. He says, I remember when Bloomberg banned some sodas and controlled popcorn sizes in the movies and forced all businesses to switch to non-trans fat lard. Yes, he did that and much, much more. He also believes, and you may have seen it or not, that he believes that you can go out with a Xerox description of black men and just go and arrest them for being criminals because they're all criminals. This is his quote. Again, don't believe me. I'm not going to do all the research for you, folks. I do a lot, and you're going to see it in the comments on YouTube. But guess what? Not the comments, the description in YouTube. But I'm telling you, look this up yourself. Don't believe me. Don't believe a 30-second ad, which is there to it's selling you. It's a commercial. It's going to sell you something. And in this case, political ads are there to sell you a candidate. I'm not against that, but I also think you should do the homework and do your research so that when you hear Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders say, well, America is a horrible place, you think about, hey, but how many illegal aliens came here to go to our jails because it's even better than their life they had before? We're not that bad. When I hear people like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris say that America is destroying the world, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when they say we're destroying the world, and I see that America since 2005 has been leading the world in reducing global warming gases, you know what? That commercial doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. When I hear people say on the trail, I hear Elizabeth Warren say, and all these movie directors say, it's just because you're men and the world is ruled by men and we're evil things and, misogyny. And then I look at how many women own businesses, how many women are billionaires. Hello, Oprah. I look at how much women have advanced just in my lifetime, being capable of becoming members of Congress, becoming members of the Senate, running for president, being CEOs of companies. You know what? Girls and women don't have a problem until you tell them they have a problem. You're telling them they can only be a certain thing. That's where their problem's coming from. And we shouldn't be afraid to say these things. We really, really shouldn't be afraid to say that. I mean, think about it, folks. You know how bad it is right now? And I'm going to be going soon because I do have a meeting to get to, but I want to say it. Remember, there was in Texas. Remember, there was the whole thing about Iowa, a complete and abject failure for the Democratic Party. Complete failure. They failed. This is their screw up. And what was the answer? A woman, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, said, well, this is because of the Russians. Wait a minute, did the Russians invade the DNC? Did they take over the computers in Iowa? Did they control every single voter, every Democratic voter, and take control of their phones and vote for them? No. The answer isn't, the problem wasn't that the Russians were responsible for it. It wasn't President Trump who was responsible for the problems in Iowa. It was because the Democrats screwed up. But the emotion is there. Mike also went on, Mike Woodward has also made another comment. He mentions and ordered, he's speaking about Mike Bloomberg, and ordered the New York Police Department to set up parking tickets for trucks because he had tried paying us, taxing them, and they wouldn't pay. Yes. That trucking companies were being taxed too much. They wouldn't pay the fines because that's how New York City was trying to cover its deficit, just like New York State's trying to cover its. Remember, we lost $8 billion. Everyone likes to talk, we lost $6 billion. Guess what? We lost another $2 billion last year. We've lost 140 million people. 140,000 people in New York State. This is supposed to be the Democratic capital, the progressive capital of the United States. That's what Andrew Cuomo was going for. He's trying to steal it from California. And for all I care, let California have it, because I don't want to become the capital of people defecating on the streets. If that's what it is to be a progressive, let California have that. If being the progressive capital means that we lead the nation in the amount of homeless people we have, let California have it. But what we have had is the attempt by Governor Cuomo and a single party rule by Democrats in the state legislature. And the answer was 140,000 people said, goodbye, not going to do that. They left. We're going to lose 2 members of Congress for that. And people are afraid to say out in public, you know what, maybe Governor Cuomo, maybe Democratic state legislature, you screwed up. Maybe bail reform, maybe increasing taxes, maybe spending $8 billion more than you have is not a good idea. Maybe since it isn't working, you try a different idea. Well, it sounds like someone's trying to give us a call. We'll find out in a second. Hello. Can you hear us?
Hello, Michael. It's me, John Restuccia.
Hey, John.
Hey, calling into the show.
Oh, well, that's good. And
Yeah.
By the way, folks, just letting you know, you can always call into the program. The phone number is 607-242-1582. You can also leave us a text on that line or at MV Consult on Twitter, on, of course, as Mike Woodward is doing, on Facebook. So go ahead. What's up? What's up, John?
All right. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine.
Oh, fantastic. So I was calling because I know you're talking about California right now, and I know I've been bugging you to talk about Bill AB 5.
Well, I did, actually. I was speaking about it 2 days ago.
Did you speak about it 2 days ago? Because I'm worried if this thing comes to New York, I mean,
well,
God, I mean.
Well, tell people what that is.
So AB 5 is essentially the bill in California that was designed to pretty much eliminate Uber and Lyft drivers from being considered independent contractors. So it helped to outlaw independent contractors as a whole, if I'm understanding it correctly.
You are. It's not just Uber. It's not just that.
No,
if
it
you're
isn't.
daycare and you have independent contractors, you can't do that. You have a construction site, you have people who work in construction, they can't do it because they're independent contractors. What AB 5 is meant to do is you now have to join a union.
Yep.
Forcing
And
people to lose a choice.
Yeah. I mean, this goes for photographers. This goes for independent content creators. I mean, this goes for everyone. It's directly going to hurt New York worse than it is. I mean, how many people are leaving New York right now? 1.4 million?
1.4 million over the last 10 years. If you're not counting, that's if you're counting the amount of illegal aliens that have taken their place. Without that, it's about 1.8.
All right, because it's about to jump up to 3 million if we're not careful. And if we keep pushing these laws that are hurting businesses, people are leaving New York in herds, and they're going to places like Texas and other low-tax states to start businesses.
Yeah, they are. They are. And we've seen it. So they already have. That's why New York State is $8 billion in the hole in just the last 2 years. Mind you, we've been losing money for years before that.
Absolutely. And I mean,
go ahead.
No, absolutely. I mean, you're right. I mean, we're getting taxed way too highly here. I mean, people are leaving California in droves too, but I mean, nothing like this. And if we're just going to take Gavin Newsom's policies and just implement them here, I mean, that's not good for the state at all. California is in shambles. It's terrible. It once was a great state, and now you have people literally defecating in the streets.
Well,
they have a terrible homeless crisis.
I just mentioned it. I just mentioned both of those things. But I'm glad that more other people are noticing it too. And it's okay. And one of the things I was talking about today is it's okay to say these things. It's okay to point out the fact that as the progressive capital of the United States, California leads the nation in people defecating on the streets and people being homeless. And if and I said it before, I'll say it again. It's okay to say whether you're a Democrat or a libertarian or a conservative, even a progressive can say this. And that's a bad thing. And and if that is what it is to be a progressive leader, you know what? It's okay not to be. Let California be that. Because I don't think anyone wants to see their kids stay in New York State without a job and get hooked on heroin and defecate in the streets and be homeless. I don't think anyone wants that. That's what you have in California. That's what they're asking for. That's what the bail reform does. That's what giving out needles and crack pipes does. And as I've just shown you, these aren't things I'm making up, folks. Look it up.
Not even close. Yeah.
These are actually happening.
Absolutely. You know, at my internship, I live with quite a few people from California. And I mean, the horror stories they tell me are just so similar to New York. It seems like New York is just one step behind California in every policy. Andrew Cuomo's just taking policies right out of Gavin Newsom's playbook and just inserting them into our state. I mean, we shouldn't have to be the social experiment for progressive ideas because we all get hurt when that happens.
Apparently we do, because that's what they are doing. We're such a big social experiment that, you know, even though the fact is we see America since 2005 leading the world in reducing global gases. That's why I started with, I want to come back to that. We're leading the world. The next closest country is England, and it has 1/6 the reduction that we've been able to do. When we look at all of Europe combined doesn't reduce global warming gases as much as America, but yet America are bad guys. When we think about, you've heard this, John, tell me, am I wrong when I hear this? I was talking about it yesterday, how America's supposed to be sexist, it's supposed to be racist. And yet, when we look at the polling, we have more Americans today willing, if you want to be black, Catholic, Hispanic, Jewish, a woman, you have a 93% or better chance of being elected to being president. If you're a Christian, if you're gay, if you're under 40, you get a chance of almost 75% of America saying, yeah, we'll give you a shot to be president. The only person who doesn't have a shot is being a communist or a socialist. That won't. I tell you, how can America be racist? How can we be sexist? How can we be so unfair when 30 million illegal aliens are coming here saying, you know what, this is as good as it gets?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, and I feel terrible. I'm all the way in Washington, D.C., Arlington, Virginia, and I look back at Binghamton, New York, and I mean, the difference is just night and day, right? And while Washington, D.C. may be a liberal haven too, it's nothing compared to what New York has become. And especially Broome County, it's very disappointing to see moderate Democrats, the Jason Garners, the Anthony Brindinskis, all the way down to our legislature, right? You get these moderate, supposed liberals standing behind far left organizations like Plot, who will not openly denounce them.
It's actually very sad. And I know that, Anthony, I'll give you a great example. Anthony Brindisi, who I've known for 8 years now, is a Democrat. He's, wishy-washy about a lot of things. He made a lot of promises. But when students at Binghamton University were being attacked, this is also something that Democrats can say, this is bad. He didn't say anything. He didn't defend students who are being attacked. He didn't even want to talk about it. That's a problem.
No, I can't agree with you more, Michael. And I mean, I hope your listeners realize what's going on in Boone County. Like, I hope they can start to see what liberal policies are doing to what is considered my home, right? I mean,
yeah, you are a native. You're a native.
I am. Yes, I've lived there most all my life. This is what is happening. I mean, it was not this bad 10 years ago, right? Well, maybe with, former Mayor Matt Ryan, but even so, I mean, it seems like the Democrats, small d Democrats, right? Not progressives, not liberals, are just not taking control of what their party should have stand for and what they've said they stand for. Instead, they're just bowing down to far left outrage.
That they are. While I got you on, because I'm going to be leaving soon, I do have a meeting tonight, which is going to be affecting the government in local government.
I have a training to go to as well. Yes, right. For work.
And I do want you to know, folks, I'm very upset, and it's leading me towards something. And there will be an announcement about that soon, I believe, coming up very soon about that, because I have a solution for this. And I'm going to let everyone know what that solution is very soon, because I'm really pissed off about this, and this needs to change. But I also want people to know that Dr. Art Laffer is going to be speaking with us. See, when he got kicked, when Plot and progressives decided that he couldn't speak because they didn't like it, and we had to have someone speak up and say, no, you can talk to us. You do have the right to have free speech. And you know what? That's why he's going to be on the show on Sunday. And I do invite people. This is where he will not be protested. He will not be interrupted. He will be able to have a conversation that he was going to have. A Freedom of Medal Award winner is going to be speaking with us because he couldn't speak otherwise. Well, we're going to give him the opportunity to speak as long as he wants. And people are going to be able to hear what this world famous economist is going to say. And you're going to be here with us, right?
Absolutely. I'm traveling down, and I will be hanging out with Michael Vasquez. I will be, I have a weekend break from my internship, and I look forward to coming down and having the conversation that Plot and the far left don't want us to have with you. No,
and we're going to have it. And folks, you're invited to it, that you can hear this as well. And I hope people check it out, whether you listen live, and I hope you do, on Sunday at 5 o'clock. But if you can't, for some reason, it's going to be on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook. You'll be able to see it and leave your comments. I always want to see your comments. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, let me know. I'm here for you.
Thank you for taking my call, Michael. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling in, John.
Absolutely.
So, folks, that was John Rastusha. You may recall he's been on the show before. He's been an intern of mine. He's working in D.C., Washington, D.C. on an internship. Really bright future. And he's going to be here. He's going to be talking with Dr. Art Laffer with myself. And as I said, he's a Medal of Freedom Award winner. He is a renowned worldwide economic genius. And he's going to be on the program because he wasn't allowed on a college campus to speak. So let me reiterate. It's okay for us to say some of these things that we're seeing right now. It's okay to say, no, that's wrong. It's okay for us to say, whether you're a Democrat, a progressive, a libertarian, a conservative, God help you if you happen to be a Republican, it's okay to say we can do better. and America isn't horrible. And Greta Thunberg and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, and we can go down the list of the progressives out there, they can all say America is great. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. And there's nothing wrong with saying that we're leading the world and that this is a great country to live in. Is it perfect? No. But it is great. And you know what? I'm, for one, am getting fed up with all these people telling us how terrible we are as the proof comes in day by day saying you're wrong. It is a great country. We are doing great things. We are helping people. I'm tired of hearing people say the exact opposite. And I'm going to do something about it really soon. But folks, I want you to do one thing for me. Look at the video. Leave me a comment. Comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Send us a text. Let us know what you think. Did I get something wrong? Do you think I'm wrong about it? Let me know. But until then, I want you to be well. Please do check us out on Sunday. And until then, I want everyone to have a great day. Thank you for spending some time with me today.